Well, I'm done with stellar metamorphosis, so I thought maybe I'd just work on other things. And yeah, I'm still sort of kind of taking a break, but I've been looking online and trying to find different ways of approaching the inertia mass issue. And I know Charles Nono will be interested in this talk, so basically this talk is for you. Newton's laws, there's, three of them. The object tends to remain in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. That's the first one. The second one is the more massive the object, the more force required to move it. And number three, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You can see that demonstrated inside of rocket technology. But I think the big picture when it comes to understanding what it is you're learning, it's not that this doesn't make any sense, because obviously Newton's laws of motion make sense and they're experimentally verified and whatnot. The problem is with how the human mind operates. When a person has something that makes sense to them, they tend to keep that idea. And then boom, nothing else happens. There's no more discovery to be made. There's no more insight to be had. Everything just fits inside their little box and everybody's happy. I don't think that's true with scientific progress. I don't think that's how you do science. I think scientific progress happens when you have something and then you realize something else and then, oh no, we have to refine this. And that something else will not exactly happen inside of disproving Newton's laws, because obviously these are pretty awesome. I think it's going to happen with us trying to understand that maybe there's a more advanced way of looking at these types of things. From a language standpoint, I realized that there's a lot of words in here that are extreme abstractions. They're so abstract that they really don't have any meaning at all, if you think about it. And Charles, I know you went over language and thought and action, and you understand what abstractions are. But the words massive and force are not real meaningful words. Those are abstractions, you know this. And also motion and the word outside are also abstractions. And equal and opposite, those are lower forms of abstractions. But action is also an abstraction. If you sort of look at those words and try to expand upon them to see what they really mean, like bring more concrete terms to, okay, what is motion exactly? You need to, and I know the people at the rational scientific method group, I think they try to push that kind of mentality, but I don't know if they're going about it the right way. I would say, look at these abstractions, say like the word motion, okay? And you say car, but clearly the car is made up of thousands of parts. Fuses, the engine block, pistons, the interior, seat belts, the seats, the transmission, the exhaust system, the outer body. It's made up of thousands of parts. And saying the object tends to remain in motion unless acted upon by an outside force, people don't realize how much of an abstraction that is. It's so abstract that you can use it to encompass basically everything. And at the same time, what it does is close your mind. It closes everything because it's so wide-ranging. It's like you can't be real specific with that kind of statement. As well, I think we should also understand that when Newton thought up these laws, so to speak, all the elements of the periodic table were not known. You have to put it in a historical, scientific context as well. Also, superconductivity was not known. rockets weren't even invented yet. Things like this, things that were more advanced, didn't exist yet. So it should be of note to kind of look at these laws and try to examine them for what they really are trying to say, and to notice where inside of scientific articles you may read these types of extreme abstractions like force and mass and things like that, because that's where people's minds are blocked. When you know how things work, there's nothing new to discover. Okay? You have to realize that there are unknown unknowns. That's what happened to me with discovering the Earth as an ancient star. Nobody knew that there was this unknown to begin with. So basically they're going to keep on chasing the protoplanetary disk and scratching their head like, what are we doing here? Like, what's wrong here? As well with the causes of mass. They don't realize that they have set themselves on the path of not understanding what causes mass by accepting Newton's statements without any further examination. And I think that's the key to figuring out what inertia and mass really are. So there's a few thoughts. I'll save more for later. Today is September 16th, 2015.